Alvin e Alvin Toffler escrevem há décadas sobre o futuro.
We don't predict, we try to analyze the present and the past and to make some intelligent assumptions about the way things are going to change.
Em 1970, editaram O Choque do Futuro. O livro saltou para o pequeno ecrã. 10 anos depois, foi a vez de A Terceira Vaga. Quase todas as previsões do casal tornaram-se realidade. O fim das famílias tradicionais, a comunicação através de computadores, a realidade virtual, entre outras.
E mais uma vez se nota que a chave para melhor se compreender a terceira vaga é a diversidade.
Mr. Toffler, you wrote several books with your wife, Heidi, and they are all about the future. Your most recent book is about what you call a revolutionary wealth. What kind of revolution is that?
There was a revolution when you went from an agrarian society to an industrial society. There's another revolution that's ongoing now. When industrial production is no longer advanced production, but is in fact a backward form of economic production. And that we're now moving in many countries toward a knowledge-based economy. And knowledge is different from all the other resources.
Why?
Because most of the resources that we've used until now to create wealth, and when I mean wealth, by creating products and factories and so forth and so on, most of these have relied on resources that were limited, whether like oil. In knowledge, you can use it, I can use it, nothing happens. Maybe we make more. It is a great challenge for economists because they have worked for 200 or 300 years to understand what we call a second wave industrial economy, and they do not yet understand all the ways in which a knowledge-based economy operates. The result is that more and more of the work that's being done in advanced societies is being done outside factories and assembly lines, being done in offices, being done here in hotels, being done on airplanes, being done at home. So work is moving from the factory into not only different kinds of work, but also into different locations.
And what is the level of consciousness that we have of this revolution?
If you look at the social life, not just the economics, because when the Industrial Revolution came, it didn't just change how you made products. It changed the whole society. You had mass production in the factory, but then you had mass media, mass education, mass populations, mass. What is happening now, as we move more and more into the knowledge-based economy, is the exact opposite. We're moving away from mass production to customized production, targeted for small groups or for even individuals. In a factory, if you're making a car, which I was, if you want to change the smallest thing, change the ashtray in the car, you have to stop the assembly line. Now you have 10,000 workers standing around and doing nothing. That's expensive. Now you introduce computer-aided manufacturing. You want to change the ashtray? Click. Ashtray's changed. Cheap. So diversity of production becomes cheap. It becomes possible. And that's why it can become more personalized or individualized. It's not a big deal to do that anymore. So that's one fundamental change. Another big change that's happening has to do with time and speed. The economy also has to be, to some degree, synchronized. If we produce the product over here, it has to get to the market by a certain time, and so forth. And if it doesn't, it's out of sync. Imagine that you're a policeman on the highway, and you've got a radar gun, and you're checking the speed of the cars going by to see if anybody's speeding. And the first car that comes along is going 100 miles an hour. And that car is symbolic of business. Business has to go fast because of competition. If you don't make the change quickly, your competitor will. So you have to be speedy. On the other hand, there are other institutions in society that move more slowly. And then you finally come down to the education system. Changes at 10 miles an hour. And can you produce the workforce of tomorrow, the children who will be working in the high-speed economy of tomorrow, in a school system that doesn't change, changes so slowly? It's out of synchronization with the economy.
So in this new desynchronized society, what is the role of governments?
When the Industrial Revolution came, one of the things that came with it was bureaucracy. With the Industrial Revolution, we became masters at creating bureaucracies. And so what we have now are governments which are essentially bureaucratic, filled with bureaucratic agencies and so forth. And we're going to see, I believe, in your government, in my government, and everywhere, increasing failures of the bureaucracies to carry out their tasks in an intelligent and timely way.
What about schools?
The schools are hopeless. The schools that we have now are themselves factories. In the ancient agrarian societies, who was the wisest person? The wisest person was the oldest person, because nothing changed. Life went on year after year, season after season, very little in the way of change. Then you got the Industrial Revolution, and you began to see that, well, sometimes the oldest person was not keeping up with the changes that were, in fact, taking place. And now you have
kids teaching parents.
Now you have kids teaching parents, because the kids are seeing the latest changes and are growing up in an environment which is continually changing. And that helps explain some of the relationships between parents and children that's so difficult today. Parents still think they're in charge, and should be, but kids know things that parents do not know. There's one of the characteristics of the new emergent society, again, I'm saying it's not just economics, it's also the entire social system changes. One of the characteristics is diversity, that there is a great variety, and there'll be, I think, a great variety of kinds of education as well, or should be. And that the things that students should be learning, kids, they should learn what advertising is and whether to believe it or not.
Why?
Because they're surrounded by it. It's their environment. They're bombarded. I don't know about your program, but probably you have a commercial sponsor as well. Well, kids are bombarded by advertising long before they know enough to be able to understand that some of it is true, some of it is false, good, bad, and so forth. They need to know something about money. They need to know what daily life is like. And basically, they don't get that in the traditional education system. And there are many other things that they should know. And each kid is different and should not be treated just like a product on an assembly line.
What can we expect from the world in the next 30 years?
I think internal conflict inside countries. Again, as countries try to adapt to this new system, and that means closing down old bureaucracies and creating new kinds of organization, there will be internal conflict. As far as external conflict, one hopes, of course, that it's limited, but there are dangers, huge dangers in the world. So I think we're going to see more examples of one country, one state, deliberately affecting what goes on inside another. It goes on all the time, but I think we'll see more of that, and that will create conflict, I think. So I don't think we're going to have a smooth century. On the other hand, I'm an American, which means I am chemically optimistic that somehow we will work our way through these, and we'll wind up, I think, with a world in which there will be less poverty of the extreme kind that now exists in so many parts of the world. I think we can beat that.